We're back with another story you're seeing first on WUSA 9. We've led the way on reporting about federal law enforcement officers using tear gas in Lafayette Square. And tonight, we've obtained purchase orders that show D.C. police spent more than $100,000 on tear gas canisters and other so-called less lethal munitions back in May and June. The D.C. Council banned MPD from using tear gas in July, a ban that could be extended. And if that happens, what could that mean for the purchase? Here's WUSA 9 investigative reporter Nathan Baca.
Lungs raw from coughing. Scratchy eyes filled with tears.
A police officer shot you in the face?
20 minutes before federal police used tear gas canisters and tear gas grenades to clear protesters from Lafayette Square Park.
We're now retreating along 17th Street. They're across the street. More flashbangs being launched.
D.C. Metropolitan Police Department was buying the same types of canisters and grenades. MPD admits to purchasing and receiving them in phone and written statements to WUSA 9. American University's investigative reporting workshop got these purchase orders through a D.C. public records request. WUSA 9 independently matched the dollar figures and the vendor, Atlantic Tactical, through records with D.C.'s Office of Contracts and Procurement. The paperwork shows MPD purchased OC natural tear gas scat shells, identical to what we found federal police used on H and 17th Street. The order also contains CS artificial tear gas scat shells, identical to this container. Those particular munitions, fired by grenade launchers, caught our eye because they affect more people at farther range than the pepper spray, gas canisters, and flashbang grenades we witnessed MPD use those May and June days. Also ordered Stinger ball grenades, identical to this, which explode rubber pellets and CS gas at high speeds. The purchase orders show a total of $130,000 paid to Atlantic Tactical Company for so-called less lethal munitions and training kits on June 1st and June 5th. Images and sounds like these from Lafayette Square Park caused by federal police pressed D.C. council members to take action. It's scheduled Thursday to debate renewing its July ban on MPD using chemical irritants on protesters. Those would include the items MPD purchased. Committee Chair Charles Allen says tear gas must never be used on peaceful protesters, but adds he wants to hear more from MPD.
Let's say, for example, that we have a white supremacist rally that comes in and they turn violent and they start attacking people. What type of tools would we want MPD to be able to use to be able to respond to that? Those are questions that warrant a hearing.
D.C. police released a statement. The June purchase reflects both the increased occurrence of rioting so far this year, as well as general preparations for possible civil disturbance for the rest of the year. The department is committed to working to safeguard the city during riots by having available to officers less lethal tools to deploy to disperse rioters. Some questions we asked that MPD did not answer. Did MPD ever have these specific type of tear gas in their arsenal, or is this a new type of purchase for them? And what does MPD plan to do with more than $100,000 of taxpayer-funded tear gas if D.C.'s council's ban on using it holds?
MPD already faces a lawsuit from the ACLU and protesters on its role in pushing protesters off D.C. streets June 1st. Now, the department declined to comment on that lawsuit other than saying that it did not take part in the federal police action that day. Now, D.C. Council will schedule a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to talk about MPD's use of tear gas. We have a link so you can attend that virtual hearing. That's part of our story on WUSA9.com and our mobile app. Nathan Baca, WUSA 9.